How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on the 2024 action film, and that is Roadhouse. This is actually a remake to the 1989 cult classic, which starred the late great Patrick Swayze, and this stars Jake Gyllenhaal, in which he plays an ex-UFC fighter named Dalton, whom he takes a job as a bouncer at the Florida Keys Roadhouse, only to discover that this paradise is not at all it seems. So that's pretty much the story of the Roadhouse remake. When it comes to the original Roadhouse from 1989 with the late Patrick Swayze, I did watch that film for the first time in preparation for this movie, and back then when the original film was released, it received negative reviews, but over the years it has gained a bit of a cult following over the last few years, and I do think it is a really cheesy but really fun 80s action movie, and I would even say it's one of my few favorites with Patrick Swayze as a star, and may that man rest in peace. And when I heard there was going to be a remake, I was pretty curious to see what this remake was going for here. And this remake was directed by Doug Liman, in which, when it comes to his movies, there are a few handful of them I enjoy quite a bit, namely The Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Edge of Tomorrow, and a few other ones he's crafted over the years. And while he has made a few misfires over the last few years as well. And this film came out on Amazon Prime back in March of this year, and I did check this out on release day on Amazon Prime just after I did watch the original Roadhouse movie from preparation for this movie. And after watching this remake here, I gotta say this remake was definitely a lot of fun here. I could definitely say this was definitely a fun remake to the original Roadhouse movie here. First off, Jake Gyllenhaal, he's great in the movie as the main lead, where he does present a lot of charismatic energy and charisma like what Patrick Swayze did in the original, while he does tend to have his own presence here, which I thought he really nailed here for the character of Dalton. And even his body image in the film here is really insane, where he does look like a buffed up monster. And Conor McGregor's in the film, as we all know, this famous fighter, in which in this film he's the villain here, and he is really over the top, but he was generally entertaining here, where he does chew up every single scene that he was in through the majority of this movie, and I really enjoyed it for the most part in this film here. And everyone else, for the most part, they did a solid job here for their acting talent here. And when it comes to the direction by Doug Liman himself, I thought it was pretty cool, and yeah, it's filled with high energy here when it comes to the combat sequences, which I thought they were filmed so well here, from the amount of brutality and body movements here, which I really enjoyed those moments here. Although there are times where the film does have a bit of CGI here and there, and for that, it took me off guard when it came to some of the CGI here, because the CGI is very noticeable here. Like, there are some CGI fire in the film here, and for that, it was very noticeable here for me. And when it comes to the storytelling here for the film, it's pretty much like an updated version of the original Roadhouse, but being set in the new area and having some new characters here. And there was like one side story in the film here that I just felt was unabandoned here when it comes to when it features about like Dalton's past, and there's like another side story which is basically a romance storyline, and for me it just felt uninteresting. And there are times the film tries to have some elements mixed together from having elements of the original and from this film here, which to me just kind of felt cut out. And even when it comes to the finale, like the final act of the film, it just felt generic, and I kind of felt it could have gone into a better direction than I expected here. But in the end, guys, this remake of Roadhouse was genuinely a fun yet ridiculous remake here to one of the most like iconic of 80s like cheesy action films here. And if you're a fan of like the original Roadhouse, or you're a fan of like Jake Gyllenhaal, I would say this might be a good cup of tea here for yourself. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the remake of Roadhouse. I'm gonna give Roadhouse 2024 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, this is definitely a fun remake here. And again, if you're a fan of like the original film, I would definitely recommend this one here if you're like a huge fan of the original film with Patrick Swayze. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on the Roadhouse remake, and let me know what you think of this remake, if you've seen this already, or for just recently check this out. Did you have fun with this, or did you not really appreciate this remake at all, really? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.